Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to What About Jesus with Gene and Grady. I'm Grady.
I'm Gene.
I hope you all are having a great day.
It's a beautiful day out here.
Yeah.
80 degrees and the wind's blowing at 40 miles an hour. Beautiful day.
Yeah. Wind's been bad this year.
No.
Quite windy this year.
Yes.
But, hey.
That's what they say about me. You're quite windy this year, Gene.
No comment.
Yeah, that's probably best. You show such patience with me
Oh.
on this show.
Yeah.
No.
I try to be patient.
Yes.
If you haven't figured it out yet, we are going to be talking about patience.
Yes.
The fourth
fruit
of the Spirit.
Yep.
Moving right along in our journey through the fruits. So right now we're up to patience, and I tell you what, I have gained more patience in the last year than I have in my entire life.
I wonder why.
And maybe just an addition of a wonderful little girl in my life.
Yes.
Whether it's rocking her for 40 minutes to put her down.
Question is, before she was born, did you at any time ask God to give you more, to help you with your patience?
Surprisingly, I've actually always been a pretty patient person.
Well, yeah, probably true. But
I can't say I ever prayed for patience.
Okay.
Maybe at my previous job, I don't know. But
that's the thing that everyone says. If you pray for patience, God gives you kids. So
it's fair.
Yeah,
it's very fair.
But okay, so how would you define patience? I mean, you have Ren, who's now going almost a year in 2 months. She'll be a year old.
Yep.
What's patience look like?
Every time I think of patience, I always think of waiting in line at a roller coaster.
Okay.
Like an amusement park.
Yeah.
Just sitting there, waiting for something to happen. You know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
But you have to wait you gotta wait your turn.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta wait until the timing is right, or put in the work to get the goal.
Okay. So you're standing in line, and let's see, Six Flags is probably the most common one that you and I would think of.
Yeah.
So you get to the line that says you have 45 minutes from this point.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're further back like me, you have 2 hours.
Right.
So what do you do to avoid getting frustrated just standing in line?
Oh, well, there's always different options. There's of course, conversating with different people.
Okay.
I always seem to be at amusement parks with a group of friends, and so conversation always helps pass the time. Or we would always, there's always people watching.
Yeah.
It's always fun to do.
Yeah.
But
I do that in the mall while my wife shops. I sit on the bench and just watch people.
Mm-hmm.
But probably my best definition of patience that I've ever come across is working through a difficult situation without giving a timeline for it to end.
Okay.
And I always thought, ooh, that is a good one because, standing in line, it's difficult. I mean, if you're impatient like I am with crowds, that's a challenge. And of course, everyone always thinks of that biblical, when it comes to a biblical example of patience, they always say Job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was patient. He got frustrated.
Yeah.
But, I think we all get frustrated. But, patience is a unique gift that can only come from God.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when we leave it to ourselves, if it weren't for God and through Jesus, oh man, I would be flying off the handle every other second, probably.
Yeah, and patience is especially hard when you know that you can do better, right? Or you have higher expectations of something and you have to wait for it, or again, just like that high expectations is when our patience can really, really be tested. And just in life, like whenever things aren't going so great, just to like be able to not take things into our own hands. That is a huge gift from God to be able to differentiate when we need to be patient and when we need to act on opportunities given to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's I want to try to think of, it's unique in thought when you are patient. Things look less cumbersome.
Yeah,
they look less frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But I always think of the biblical term when it comes to God. He's not just patient; he's long suffering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's got me. He has to be long suffering.
Yeah.
Oh, you say that so quickly. Yeah.
Well, just all of us, and in agreements.
So, okay, you're in your youth group Bible lesson.
Yeah.
How do you define patience with them? How do they see patience, and then how do you get them to see patience the way God wants us to have patience?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's really easy to show the high schoolers to be patient. And by the way I show high schoolers patience is asking them to teach the middle schoolers.
Ooh, wow! Yeah.
Or lead the middle schoolers.
Okay.
Or be their group leaders. So I'll split up the middle school crew, and I'll assign high schoolers to help out. And it requires patience, not because the middle schoolers are bad kids, because they're not.
Right.
They're absolutely fantastic, but they're super energetic.
Right.
And they have a lot of questions, and they're quick to bounce off of each other.
Okay.
And feed off of each other. And so, teaching a bunch of 12 to 13-year-olds, 11 to 13-year-olds, it's in the best way possible. It's the perfect place to train patience.
That's true.
Once you kind of figure out that the best way to go at any situation is from a stance of love, then it just makes everything easier.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I try and teach at middle schools is when you're waiting on something, or whenever you are, whether it's you're waiting for a sign, a lot of them is okay, how do I know when I'm going to be baptized? How do I know when it's the right time? How do I know when it's going to be the right time? There's certain kids that they just want to know.
Right.
They need to have a sign, or they need to have an epiphany or something like that. I'm like, hey, just be patient. God will open a door when that moment is right for you. And it's the same way in terms of inviting friends to church or sharing the gospel. You can't just go down and share and shove your beliefs down someone's throat. You have to be patient. You have to wait and build that relationship and develop love. And so when it comes to patience, I feel like that always goes hand in hand with love. And when to differentiate when the right moment is. So I don't know. I've been blessed to hang out with a lot of really, really awesome teenagers, and they teach me more than I feel like I could ever teach them.
So for us older Christians, and even to the youth group as well, what's the role of God's peace does it play for us to have patience?
How big of a role God is for us to have patience?
Not God, but the peace that God offers.
Oh,
okay. How big of a role is that in regarding gaining patience?
I would say that's huge, because you have to be content in God and trusting God's plan for you.
Okay.
And so, whenever you're at peace with letting God take control, that's when that patience starts to be more rewarded. Yeah. Right. So I would kind of, I would define that or do a similar story to kind of this time in my life last year and me and Hannah's life. A year ago yesterday, I interviewed for the position here.
Right.
And so that just kind of came at a time where we moved to Oklahoma. I'd been working in insurance for 6 months. We were about to have Ren, and we were like, okay, this isn't what we want to do forever. What's next? And so, again, I've told this story. I tell this story a lot to the teenagers. Whenever it's okay, God, just take control. I'm at peace with whatever you put in front of we were at peace, whatever he had plans for us in the marriage. And not too long after, Kevin reached out to me here. And so like being at peace with God's plan in your life is huge in regards to the patience that he gives us.
And that's because, I like how Paul lists this. The key to every fruit for us to have from the Spirit begins with love.
Yeah.
And then because when you have that love, you have that joy, you have that contentment, knowing all things, no matter what, things are going to be well, okay? And then from that joy, we gain peace. And from that peace, we gain patience. No. And that's going to, this patience that we gain from God will trigger the next fruit that we talk about next week. But I hope our viewers will relook at Galatians chapter 5 and look at the way the fruit of the Spirit is listed, because you can't have one without the other. Yeah. And you definitely cannot have patience if you do not have the peace of God. And that peace comes from that relationship with God through His Word and through prayer, and then being surrounded by His family, church family. So I think that's an interesting viewpoint for us to realize that for us to have patience, it begins with having God's peace.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, again, it all starts by trusting and loving Him and loving one another, and patience can come in all different areas of your life, whether it's work or whether it's family, whether it's finances, whether it's jobs or friends or family. Like patience can come in on so many different areas of your life. I would say patience is probably the most versatile fruit we've talked about thus far. Even to the point where it's just like, obviously love, like you can use love in every situation, but like with that, like you have to be patient in so many areas of your life.
Oh yeah, every aspect.
And just like wisdom, pray for patience, right? I feel like God's gonna give that to us.
Now, He's not just going to give it to us. He's going to put us in a situation to where we can gain that. And I think that's important for our viewers too. When you ask God to help you in certain aspects and character qualities, watch what God does. Watch for the people He puts into your life at that time. Watch for situations that He's going to walk you through. He's not just going to set you at a situation and just let you go by yourself. He's going to walk you through that situation, reminding you that, hey, you wanted to get better at being patient. And it does start, in the family, and through whether it be siblings or whether it be your own child. But it starts with the family. And if you can't be patient with your own family, you're not going to be patient with anyone around you.
Right.
So.
Right.
Well, viewers, thank you for joining with us. I hope this has been a blessing to you as it is to us. We do ask that you hit that like and subscribe. Even share it with your friends, however you can. So we appreciate you joining with us as we continue in our talk of the fruit of the Spirit. So I say God bless and go well and walk with Jesus. I'm Gene.
I'm Grady.
Have a great week.